Right now, I have absolutely no idea if we got G3. I'll show you guys. This is my tablet right now. Okay, I haven't even turned it on. My phone right now. I haven't even logged into Summon as well. I kind of slept until now, so I woke up pretty late. I might sound a little bit more tired. But I'm gonna log in now. I'll get the screen share going as I'm loading up Summon as well. See, I even fell asleep watching Twitch. So first things first, let's load up Summon as well, and we'll load up A Power Mirror. I think A Power Mirror is already open, so you guys are gonna see it when I see it. I think I already got it open. Yeah. All right, here we go. Alright, let's see if we got G3. So we're just going to load up now. I have absolutely no idea. What's up, Silem? How are you? So we'll see if we got G3 or not. And if we got G3, I'll just showcase the runes real quick of the units we used. And then we'll put it onto YouTube. But I have absolutely no idea if we actually finished G3. So we better find out. Let's see. And there it is. Yeah, doggo's barking in the back. Can't really help it. Looks like we did get G3. It actually happened. So let's see what rank we actually finished. Alright, let's have a quick peek. So we finished rank 94 without doing wings on the last day. We camped it out on the last day. It finished up at rank 1834. We were 1835. Are you sick? I just woke up. So this is how I sound when I just wake up. So there was 3 of us at 1835. So, yep. So anyway, the monsters that I was using for Special League, I'll just go through them really quick. And I'll show you the runes. So the first unit I was using quite a lot was Mina. She was almost one of my main damage dealer picks for when it came to picking a water damage dealer. At the end of the day, I don't think I was too happy with the build that I gave her. I did run her quite late in the piece, but I kind of just threw this together and made it work. She's on speed, crit damage, attack. These are her runes. As you can see, I just went like kind of high crit rate and as much attack as I could at a decentish speed. Ideally, I would have tried to get her to 300 and gone that way. But we ended up just going with this, and it did work quite a lot. So that's what we went with. Elucia, I probably should have drafted a bit more than I did, especially considering how many fights I lost to an Antares. So this was the Elucia I used. Violent Revenge, Speed, HP, Defense. These are the runes. The next unit we used a little bit was Malaka. So Malaka was a good counter to when you see a lot of cats. And as you can see, it's not that fast, so a lot of the times the cats move first. So with this Malaka build, it was on Violent Will, Speed, Attack, Attack. And you can see it's still relatively tanky. So therefore, it allowed me to absorb a few hits early on, if it was needed. And his bomb damage wasn't quite there to kill cats straight away. But it was enough to like do about 15k, I think, or 16k. So that's the reason why that worked. Tyrone was the next unit I used for RTA quite a lot as well. As you can see, his stats aren't too high. Like, he's relatively on the high defense side, but the accuracy could have been a bit better. So, Violent Will, Speed, Defense, HP. Those are his runes. Actually, I didn't show Malaka's 1, 3, and 5. I'll just go back and quickly do that as well. But yeah, we'll go back through to Tyrone. Those were his runes. Next was Zarya. Zarya was one of my main speed lead choices. And she actually proved to be very, very good to counter the cats. To be able to sleep a Miho and then second skill into an armor break on it while it was still sleeping meant you couldn't really do anything. The crit rate was low enough where it didn't really impact me. What cost me quite a lot was her accuracy though. If I could go back, I'd probably rune her with at least 12 to 15 more accuracy. She was Violent Will as well. Speed, Flat Defense, HP. And those are the 1-3-5s. Yeah, Flat Defense rune by the way, guys. Next was Miang. I used her now and then. If they went fire heavy team, it was easier to just drop a Miang if I needed. But she was a very like niche pick for me personally, so I didn't really use her too much. She's Violent Will, Speed, Crit Damage, HP. Those are her runes, and that's how we went there. Ager. That's how Ager looked. He was probably my second in line for my water pick. So, in fact, I was picking Water Cat ahead of Ager quite a lot. So, Ager became my second pick for water damage dealers. Violent Nemesis, Speed, Crit Damage, HP, 1, 3, 5. That's how it looked. Covenant was used as a snipe if I needed it to counter like Copper Dozer. I only used him a handful of times, and I think he paid off now and then. So I think he might have only cost me 1 or 2 fights, and that was because I just drafted him in a very awkward situation, and it left me kind of stuck. So Swift Blade, speed, crit damage, attack. Here is runes, and he did about 25 or 26k without attack buff. So it was usually enough damage. I didn't really use Railk. He's the next unit on the list. But these are his runes. He was Violent Revenge, speed, crit damage, HP, 135s. I didn't get to use him as much as I wanted to. I got to use him early on, and that was about it. It kind of felt really hard to use him without Will at that speed. So if I wanted to use him more, I would have had to put him on Will runes. Now, for the guys that don't know, I usually run 2 Verds. So my first Verd that you'll see is going to be my Violent Verd. So this is his stats. Speed, crit rate, HP. And he was a pretty... okay, so my Violent Verd wasn't used as much towards the end of the season. The reasoning for it is I needed to really play for turn 1. And a lot of people keep getting confused if I'm running a Swift Verd or a Violent Verd. So I'd always flick between the two, depending on the circumstances. So that's the Verd. This is the Antares. So I got a Despair Antares. Despair Revenge. HP, crit damage, attack. Those are his runes. Use them now and then. Gara I'll also use now and then. Speed, crit damage, attack. Raccoony I used a couple times as well. Violent Nemesis, speed, HP. Those are his runes. And then Harmonia, I think we used once or twice. Those are the runes. Speed, HP. As you can see, he's still got grind space in there if needed. And then this is the Swift Verd heal I was running. And it was on speed, crit rate, HP. Those are the runes. Kali is also on a Swift build. So I was using Kali Cov to counter Copper Dozer sometimes. So that's the build I had on my Kali. It dealt enough to kill Copper Dozer. But then it was kind of mincemeat to anything else. So Swift Blade, speed, crit damage, attack. Those are its runes. It dealt enough damage. This was hitting hard enough, surprisingly, to be able to get most of the nukes that I needed turn 1. The next unit that that ended up on YouTube, a few highlight reels, was my Yen. So Yen did so much work for me. And she became a highlight and became probably my main wind unit pick when it came to being a damage dealer. And I didn't really build her for damage first, mainly for turn cycling, because a second skill absorbed attack bar and her attack bar would go up, and then her passive allowed her to have an innate proc chance. So building her on violent and having her have a violent proc in that, built in as well, like in her passive, meant that she was proccing a lot. So I ran mine on speed, crit damage, HP. These are her runes. And she just did work. She worked overtime so many times. So I could see myself building her for the future as well. So we'll probably see more of her. Yeah, she was one of my main picks, that's for sure. Hraesvelg, I built quite late in the piece. Maybe like 4 or 5 days to go, I built him. And I built him with no crit rate to counter Mihos as well. So Despair, speed, HP. That's his build. That's the way he looks. Pretty basic build. Triana. So Triana actually got a lot of rune love. And she was one of my core picks earlier on. And then later on, I didn't use her as much because I needed to mainly steal the immunity pick. So I wasn't picking Triana as much. Triana was like, if they were trying to cleave me, then I'd pick Triana. So my Triana was a HP, crit damage, HP. Triana, these are her runes. Yeah, so she was pretty nice to have. I was picking her first quite a lot. My Shibate also became quite a big pick for me. So I started drafting it quite a lot for that 24 speed lead, and he dealt so much damage. He's a Swift Blade build, speed, crit damage, attack. Here are his runes. And yeah, like they're not the best runes, but he did his job. He really shined for me. So I built an Ashia, I think, with about 3 days to go. 3 or 4 days to go, somewhere around there. And I 2-8'd him as well in that day. So I kind of needed something to move first, and I needed another form of ATB that was faster than a Verd. So something with a higher base speed in case I didn't get to use my other ATB booster. So this was what I was running. And so I went with a higher defense build on Ashia because late game RTA, the scaling for HP goes down. So I thought I'd go with the defense build. And mine was rune speed, defense. Here are his runes. As you can see, he's plus 193, so it wasn't too fast, but it did the job that I needed him to do. Fran was one of my core immunity picks. Pretty standard. I didn't really change her from normal season. Speed, HP, hero her runes. So she'll probably be looking very similar for normal league as well. I did rune up a Darien to counter cleave. So crit damage Darien, because I would pick units like Fran, Triana, Huadam, which you'll see later on, Darien +1. And I would literally take all the hits, and then I would have all the heals to bring me back up. So Darien was built on Violent Revenge, speed, crit damage, HP, hero his runes, and he did the job. He did pretty well for me. Lauren, I used her quite a lot as well. She was pretty crucial for me. But towards the end, I stopped drafting her as much. And the reason for that was I went immunity, 3 damage dealer picks, and then either another form of immunity or a safety net like Triana. So this is what she looked like. Violent Broken, speed, HP, hero her runes. So that's what she looked like. Next unit was Huadam. So Huadam I runed on Despair Revenge. He was HP, and he was there to counter cleave. And that was pretty much it. Counter cleave, including Bulldozer Copper Cleaves as well. So he wouldn't survive a Copper, but he'd survive a Bulldozer. So most of the times, if I had Huadam Triana in my draft, I'd be banning out, depending on the situation and what sort of draft I took. If I went heavy fire, I'd be banning out like the Bulldozer. And then usually my Huadam would have to take a hit, depending on what they banned. Sometimes he'd survive, so due to Triana. So that he played a big part in my my success in this special league. Next unit was Ileana. So Ileana obviously got buffed just during the first week of special league. They gave her immunity on her 3rd skill, and made her a lot more useful. So at that point in time, I just threw up a Swift set on her, and I kind of used her as like you would use a Wusa. So mine is runed on Swift, Speed, HP, Defense. Hero her runes, and yeah, as you can see, she's 300 speed, pretty tanky, and like she worked a treat for me. Sometimes I outsped Cleaves because I took double speed lead plus her, and I was able to protect my core unit, so I wasn't able to get sniped, and it made life a lot easier. And her 2nd skill is amazing. 2-turn cooldown. I believe like I would probably try rune her on Violent. We'll have to wait and see how things go, but yeah, I could see myself using her on Violent. Just because it allows for turn cycling so much more. So she was actually a really good unit. If she didn't get buffed, I don't think I would have got G3. Because I was drafting her that much that life would have been a lot harder if I didn't actually have her in my drafts. Next unit was Miho. So I used Miho quite a lot earlier on. And I didn't really use Miho towards the end. So the reasoning for that is she didn't really fit my draft. I would pick one of each elemental unit as a damage dealer. So I'd pick one fire, water, wind as a damage dealer. And then I'd pick my 2 forms of immunity, either like Fran and Ileana. But otherwise, yeah, I went down the path of like using her when like it was very heavy crit against me. And I barely started drafting her at the end there. Attack, crit, damage, attack. Here are her runes. So yeah, that's how she looked for Special League. Next unit I used for sniping against Copperdozer was Icarus. So I ran a Swift Icarus that looks like this. Pretty straightforward. Swift energy. Dealt enough damage to kill most nukes. Or even cats as well. Like it was fast enough to kill some cats. With the speed lead Verd, I was usually moving before water cats. So I was able to snipe water cats with Icarus as well. The last couple units were Frigate, who I was using as an ATB booster like once in a blue moon. I changed his runes quite a lot. He was at plus 200 and something, but I slowed him down towards the end because I built the Ileana faster, so I had to balance their runes out a little bit. And he's speed, flight, HP, defense. That's his runes. And he, plus 193. Did the job that I needed him to do. He didn't really suit my playstyle, so I didn't really draft him as much as I could have. And then the last unit was Dark Dryad. So I built a CC team initially, as well as a normal team. But I never really drafted my CC team much. So Hyannis really didn't get drafted as much as I thought I would have drafted her. But she was on a Despair Will set. Speed, HP, defense. There are her runes. Those were her stats. So, yeah, that's the units I built and was planning on using in Special League. And we did get G3. So hopefully that helps and gives you guys some insight about how things went. And that's my win rate and my record now. So it got updated. Most amount of wings I've ever done. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you guys liked what you did see, please hit that like or subscribe button below. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.